Hi, and welcome to my new channel, Honeybee Sims, where I'm going to be playing mainly Sims 2. I never thought I would start a channel like this. To be honest, I started playing The Sims 2 when I was. I started playing The Sims 2, I think, right when it came out because I was playing The Sims 1 back in the day, and when I heard that Sims 2 was coming out, I was like, I went up to my mom with my sister and we were like, you have to go to the computer store today and get us this game, because back then in our hometown, we didn't even have a Walmart or, like just a game store. We didn't have that. She had to go to the computer repair shop where they sometimes got games, and like we hoped, fingers crossed, that they would have The Sims 2, and they had it. So we had the original 4-disc game and we were ecstatic about it. I remember we played, I think, 8 hours a day. I spent most of that time watching her play, my older sister, and that's where actually the idea first came to me, to watch people play Sims for fun, because I used to get so much enjoyment out of watching my older sister play the games that I thought, of course there's someone else out there who's gonna have fun watching me play it. And so I thought, even though I don't have an audience at all, and I'm not like, I'm starting from zero, I'm starting from nothing, I'm probably, there's still gonna be someone that's interested in watching someone they've never heard of before and never seen before play the game. And yeah, I mean, I've been inspired by many other simmers that I've seen on the platform who just have a lot of fun showing us their game, showing us the way they play, and all of that. And I thought maybe there's something of worth to be found in the way I play and the town I have right now. And so that's what we're doing today. Today I'm going to be showing you all my extremely dramatic Pleasantview. I have a couple screen caps to show you to exemplify why it's so extremely dramatic. But most of the time, I must admit, I'm not a very good I'm not very quick at taking screenshots, and the way that The Sims 2 work with pictures, it's kind of complicated. So I just print the screen and then save a copy of that print screen to my computer. So that's how I take like my screenshots, as so to say, like I'm doing air quotes right now. That's how I do them. But yeah, today I thought we could go around seeing what my Pleasantview looks like right now, because that's the hood that I would like to be playing on this channel. Because yes, I don't know how this is going to work. I don't know how many people, or if even anyone is going to be interested in watching this, but if there's someone out there that's interested in watching me play the game, well, I'm going to play my Pleasantview on this channel. Probably like one round or one family a week or something like that. I'll figure something out. Right now I have 2 jobs. I'm a college student, very busy, but I want to do this, and it's been at the back of my mind for probably a year now. So it's now. I'm doing it now. So first of all, I think an overview of all my families is probably what's the most important right now. So wait a second. So this is, I don't know how many rounds after the start of the game, but I'm pretty far already. All of the original adults are dead. So like Dina, Darren, Cassandra, all of that, they're all dead. All of the Sims who were teenagers when the game first began are elders now. And so that's about where I am time-wise in the story, I guess. I'm not sure how you would call that. So I got, of course, there are some Goths left. A lot of Goth families, actually. So yeah, I think we should start with the first Goth family, the one that has all of Cassandra's children. So I have a little bio written for this family. It's not like, it's a bit old, and it's not. Anyway, we can just go through it. I'm being quite stereotypical with the way that I assign my aspirations, and I think I'm going to change that in the future rounds. Not because I don't think it's a good thing, because obviously, like, when you have these aspirations in this game, they're very repetitive and very like, this is what I want and this is what I want and I only want that. Like, it's very set in stone, and the way that I write about it in these little bios kind of goes in that sense as well. First of all, I'm going to show you like who's in the family. So we have Fallon Lothario, the first child of Cassandra and Dawn. He's a romance sim. We have Harley. Harley is the daughter that Cassandra had with Darren when they were married, because Cassandra and Dawn got divorced because she found out that he was cheating, and obviously. And Harley is the child that she had when she got married to Darren. And then there's Jenna, Jenna Lothario, which you would be right to assume that she's an oopsie, I guess you could say. When Darren cheated on Cassandra, because he did, Cassandra kind of wanted to get revenge, I guess, and so her relationship with Dawn by that point had gotten much better because she wasn't furious anymore, and it was like close to friendship. And so I had her call him over. ACR did what ACR does. They risky woohooed. Cue the chime. So here's Jenna. But sometimes, well, I was gonna say bad things. No, sometimes surprising events are the best, because Jenna is, I think, honestly, my favorite ever child of Cassandra and Dawn. She's also a romance child. Yes, she's a romance child. She's also a romance sim, and I think she's lovely. She looks lovely. She's really pretty, and she's fun. I kind of imagine that she would talk like that. Like, I don't know why. Like, in my mind, she sounds like that. Intentionally extremely dumb, like bimbo. Like, that's what I imagine when I think of her. And I also like to picture that nobody really takes her seriously, but she's extremely smart. She went to university, she graduated, she's working as a slacker, but she's really good in what she does. She's quite high in her career, and even though she sleeps around, and I do have to make her take morning after pills quite often, she's still, she's her own woman, and she's very self-assured, let's say, and I really like her. She's more like, she's a lot prouder in who she is than Fallon is. Fallon is to me a man who hides a lot, who pretends that he's not the way he is. I think because he doesn't want to be clocked as, oh, you're just like your father, but he is. He is, but he doesn't want to come out that way. And I think that's it's his character is really like, he's sloppy. Of course, he's extremely sloppy and extremely outgoing. Of course, he is, but he's also quite nice, not very active. He's not all about himself. He's not all about the looks, and I think that's also interesting. But he really, really pretends like, I feel like it would be really a man that would pretend that he's not who he actually is, which is a dog. Straight up dog, and we'll get to that later on why he's a dog. This is Wade. Wade is Harley's husband. He was just a university dormie. They have 2 children together, Devin and Hollis McGibbon. Devin is really, really cute. She looks like she's a spitting image of Harley. Harley is the spitting image of Cassandra. She has nothing of Darren, not a single thing, not even eye color, anything. Like, maybe the black hair is from him, but we couldn't know because Cassandra also has black hair, so she has literally nothing from Darren. And yeah, Devin looks like her a lot, but she has her father's eyes, so it just breaks up the monotony a bit. Isn't that a word in English? Monotony? Boring. It breaks up the boring. Breaks up the repetitive, I guess. Then we have Hollis. Hollis is also very cute. I don't remember. Actually, I'm going to load into the family. Okay, Hollis is a Gemini. So Gemini turn into fortune sims, I think. Which would make sense because his father's a fortune sim. His father's a Scorpio. And his mother's a Pisces. Yeah, so it would make sense that he would be a fortune sim, I think. And last but not least, we have the little Ivy Lothario, youngest member of the family. She is Jenna's daughter. That one time I slipped, didn't hear the chime, and didn't think to check with some blender if she was pregnant. And because I have a 48-hour pregnancy, she went to work. I didn't notice her needs dropping dramatically or anything. She gets home from work, gets a baby bump, and at that point I felt too bad to end it. And so I thought, well, Jenna could have an oopsie. She could have an oopsie baby, and that's fine. absolutely fine with that. And so Ivy was born. Ivy is also the daughter of just a university dormie named Cohen Garrick. That's her father, and she basically has his entire face with Jenna's colors, which seems to happen a lot with townies, or at least the townies I have. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that in your game. When you marry your playables with townies and they have kids, like, they almost always get the townie's face, like the whole thing. And I think that's because of dominant facial features or things like that. I think that's my theory. Like, comment below. I'm sorry. Okay, so we can keep going with the Goth family. So we got Alexander. In my game, yeah, I know a lot of people think that they kind of have to have Alexander get with Lucy because they're the only two kids in the neighborhood and you start playing. But in my game, something happened where I didn't run age correct or age checker or whatever. I didn't run that when I first started playing. So because the teens, when they grow up into teenagers, I think they have 14 days until they become adults, and with my aging system they have like something like a half of that, 7 days. And since I forgot to run the age correct, the teens that were already teens had a lot more time as teens than children who grew up as teens. And then, so everyone ended up being the same age. Like Lilith, Angela, Dirk, Dustin, Lucy, and Alexander, all the same age. So I thought, well, that's an interesting opportunity to make something that I've never made happen before happen. And so I for one always thought that Lilith deserved to be the goth queen that she is in the most extravagant setting that she could find. And when I added her into the university dormitory, and the first thing she did was kiss Alexander, I was like, vindication. Exactly, girl. Get that. First of all, get that bag. Second of all, get that mansion, girl. That's exactly where she belongs, and I'm so glad, because like that's just what she deserves. She's always been like second best and left to the side. So now she has a fucking mansion, and thank you very much. They never married. She and Alexander never married. They are steady, but that's it. They had their twins, Thomason and Vivian, quite late in life. I think something like 9 days before they were both gonna turn into elders. And at first that was my plan for them. That was just let them grow old together, have their kids grow into elders, die. Just healthy family goth, because I'm not sure healthy family dynamic is something that you automatically associate with the goth name, at least not in The Sims 2. Maybe in The Sims 4, because it's so boring. But in The Sims 2, not quite. But yeah, I was like, for once, they're just gonna get a happy ending, and it's gonna be good. And then Lilith, Fallon, being the Roman sim that he is, thinks that pretty much every woman in town that he's not related to is smoking hot. And Lilith is his co-worker. So one day he just brings her home from work, and I don't really look what they're doing because there are 7 sims in that household. So I'm looking at what Harley's doing, I'm looking at what Wade's doing, I'm looking at the kids. Like, there were toddlers in the house. No. It was before even the toddlers. There was one toddler in the house. So, I'm looking over everything, making sure that nobody's dying and stuff. And suddenly I hear the little, like, heart sounds. Like, ooh, there's a crush happening right now. And I'm like, who's doing that? Where? And didn't take me that long to find my culprit. And soon enough, they're heading for the hot tub. And the way I play, I always have risky woohoo on. I only put my sims on birth control if they fear having a baby. So obviously Lilith was not on birth control. I made her playable, and what had to happen happened. And and so to avoid any suspicion, the son she had with Fallon, his surname is Goth, so that it's not clockable. Even though he really has his nose. He has Fallon's nose 100%, and Alexander's nose is a very recognizable nose, as well as Lilith's on a man. Like, you couldn't confuse that nose for anyone else's, and he clearly has a nose that none of them have, and it's seems to be coming out of nowhere, but you know, in real life that happens. You know, there are shapes and sizes of bodies and body parts that are passed on in DNA that aren't like directly taken from your that one parent. It could be like from your ancestors. I know that, for example, I have my grandmother's lips, even though my father doesn't really have them. So, and like in real life, DNA wise, that can happen. In The Sims, though, that doesn't happen. Like you get one from the mom, one from the dad, and it's one or the other. Like so. Obviously, Blake, that's his name. That's the name of Lilith and Fallon's son. Clearly, is not Alexander's. So anyway, yeah. Thomason and Vivian they're great. They're great. I don't know what else to say about them. They're great. They're the daughters. Then we have the third Goth family, which I'm not even sure why the household name is Goth, because any Goth has long since died. But we have Gomez Pleasant, son of Daniel, and Bella. Yes, it's probably my favorite thing I've ever done. Once again, just a random occurrence. Basically, I had Bella and Nina live together in the house because they were both lone romance sim. They were good friends, and they were both having a thing with Daniel Pleasant, because of course. And like the amount of times that they woohooed with that man, each of them, I was like, what? One for sure. Like at some point, one of them was gonna get pregnant by Daniel, and like this is just that just had to happen, and it did. And it was Bella. I think she was 7 days away from Elder when it happened, and I was completely blindsided. I was like, I never thought that it could still happen. I thought she was barren. I thought the woman's womb was barren, but it wasn't. And there came Gomez, which surprised everyone by being a Cancer, like his mom. But where Bella is a romance sim, despite her... like, I don't think she fits that role too well, but... So yes, Gomez, you know, he's a family man. He doesn't have anything much going for him. That's why in the family bio, I wrote that he finds himself a bit lost, and he doesn't find having his children as fulfilling as he thought he would, that he feels a bit guilty about encouraging Izzy to have their children so soon, because Izzy is much younger than he is. Izzy is the daughter of Brandy and John Burb. where this drama brings some more, because I can explain. What happened was I play once-based, and I'm not kidding. I play once-based. Jennifer rolled a want to flirt with Darren because he was her co-worker and they were close friends, and I'm not even sure why, because they had like one bolt. I'm like, you know, one bolt, Jennifer, you're gonna break your family for one bolt. And she did. She sure did break her family for one bolt. She flirted with Darren, and then she ACR woohooed with him while everyone was in the house, and so John found out. John was already good friends with Brandy, and so when the divorce was, I'm sorry, I'm still laughing about divorce. When the divorce was finally settled, I barely had to click anything. I invited Brandy over. There was a suggestion, a flirt. There was love hearts, and then there was wants to get engaged, and so it didn't take too long. They got engaged. They got married. I think by that time, unborn baby Broke, whose name is Drew in my game, was a teenager already. And so they had a last miracle baby before they turned into elders. It sounds like I'm talking about superheroes. He turned into the Green Lantern. They aged into elders. And they had a daughter whom I named Iser. Iser is the French pronunciation of, it's Tristan and Isolde. I'm not sure how you say Isolde. I think it's Isolde. But in French, it's Tristan and Isolde. Wait, I'm going to say that again. Apparently, I can't speak English, but I can't speak French either. It's Tristan et Isolde. There we go. And I really like the name, Izu. I like it. I just think it's cute. And so I named her that because I was on the letter I and, just just something. But when I'm going to be talking about her, addressing her, I'm going to call her Izzy because that's what I always call her when I talk about her. I have nicknames for most of my Sims because the reason why I want to film myself playing this hood is because I get so angry and I get so intense when I play, and I'm like yelling at my Sims. One time, it was absolutely mad. Angela woke up in the morning. She went to the bar had like 3 full glasses. ACR tried for baby with her husband, whom I'm not gonna name because that's gonna be a surprise. ACR tried for baby, gets pregnant, and I was like, Angela, what did you do? And I was so mad at her, but it was really funny. And like, I just want to catch these moments on camera, the moments where I'm like completely taken aback by what the game's doing to me. So Gomez and Izzy have 2 children. They have Astra Pleasant, who is their eldest daughter. She's also she's also a family sim, like both of her parents. And right now, she has absolutely no suitors in town because everybody is already related. That's so great. So I'm looking. I think I'm gonna have her get with SDD. SDD is a famous man in town. He is a baby that 2 randomly generated Sims had when I was testing my 48-hour pregnancy mod. And he was so gorgeous that I exported him into Body Shop, made a clone, and made that clone a townie. And so that man already has a son in town, and he's probably going to have a couple more children with Astra because he's really her only... her only option. She doesn't have anyone in town that she could date. The only people she could date are townies, and I'm starting to run out of beautiful townies. Let's put it that way. I'm starting to run out of aesthetically pleasing townies. They also have a son, Ezra. Ezra's a popularity sim. He kind of blends out into the background. I don't really think about Ezra when I'm not playing. Like, when I'm trying to think of all the children my Sims have had, I can never remember that Ezra exists, but he exists. He exists. I'm trying to find a way to make him interesting. He looks kind of interesting. He's a good mix of both of his parents. While Astra is just Bella Goth. She has Gomez's entire face, and Gomez has Bella's face. So she looks like Bella, which is not a bad thing. I'm happy that Bella could at least spread her genes in town before she died. Because Cassandra and Alexander surely don't look like their mother. No, they don't. I'm not sure who Alexander's mother was, but it wasn't Bella. I think we're gonna then move to the family that I usually play right after the Goths, which is the Dreamer family, which currently consists of Kimberly, daughter of Darren and Jennifer. Jennifer and Darren got married after Darren and Cassandra divorced, and they had Kimberly as kind of like a gotcha to John. Like, oh yeah, you thought you could have another, like you thought you could have your dream child with your dream wife? Well, look at me. I'm gonna have a kid with this very poor man who lives alone because his son is now an adult with the grave of his dead wife in the yard. So anyway, I'm gonna marry that man and I'm gonna have a child with him. That'll teach you. That'll teach you, John. And so she did. And Kimberly was born. Kimberly, she's a popularity sim. So if I had to do a hierarchy, is that a hierarchy? Yeah. If I had to do an hierarchy, an hierarchy or a hierarchy, sound off in the comments. If I had to rank, let's say it that way, if I had to rank my favorite aspirations, popularity would certainly not be the first place. I think popularity sims are just a little less, if not as boring as pleasure sims. Sorry. But it's a lot harder to play without popularity sims in your hood because so many zodiac signs are associated with popularity. What I wish we could have in the game is, well, I wish we could mod new aspirations in, because after a while, especially when you play a hood like this with a lot of generations, you kind of like, it becomes so repetitive after a while and it's kind of boring, but Anyway, she's a popularity. She is in the politics career. She's quite high in the politics career. And in this household, a bomb just dropped because Kimberly married Chester right after Jennifer died. Chester is a Roman sim. Chester is Dina and Mortimer's son. They had twins together, and he is one of the twins. I never planned to have him marry, and I also never planned to have him have a child, but he was the only option in town for Kimberly. I think he was one of the only people who was single and not related to her. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna find a way around that. And so I imagine that it was really like, to him, she was the one. She was the one, and even though he was a romance sim, he rolled the one to marry her. And so I thought, okay, I'm justified in doing what I'm doing right now, as justified as I can be. Like, I don't need that much to feel justified in what I'm doing. And together they had a little girl named Faith. She's really cute. But yeah, a bomb just dropped in this household because Kimberly found out Chester was cheating on her with many, many, many women. And the way she found out was because one of the townies that Chester's dating just walked into the house and kissed him in front of her. And well, I think we know if he's more like his father or his gold-digging mother. I think Chester takes a lot after Dina. Let's put it that way. Then after that, I usually play the Brokes. I still have a family living in the old trailer. I did modify it a lot. It's a lot less shabby than it used to be. So right now in the trailer, we have Eli Burb, child of John and Jennifer, their second child. They only had 2. I know most people have like 4, 5, or 6 kids, but they had 2 in my game because I don't like to have Sims have that many children. Like, sometimes I make them have 3, but that's pushing it. Like, Cassandra had 3 kids, and I was like, God, that was a lot. I've been recording for 38 minutes. That's fine. I need to hurry this along. So we have Eli Burb, who's the child of John and Jennifer, their second child. Eli moved in the trailer when he was a teenager, and Drew was also a teenager. And as soon as they started sleeping in the same room, Drew rolled a 1 to flirt with Eli. And I thought that was very interesting because they both actually randomized as straight. And I was like, well, do I act on the want, or do I act on the randomized gender preference? I thought, I play want-based. I want my Pleasantview to be as dramatic as possible. I'm gonna act on the want. Of course I'm going to act on the want. But since Brandy and John had gotten married, they were both considered to be stepbrothers. Which, I mean, in all legality? What? In all fairness, they were. Like, by marriage, they were stepbrothers. But by blood, they were not related. And to me, I know when you have to say technically they're not related, that's bad. But I was like, I want to have them act on that want. You know, they've never met each other before. They have no family ties. They're teenagers run by hormones. Like, they want to flirt. I fought so hard to have them flirt. I had to download a mod that made it so people related by marriage were not recognized as the same kind of related as other Sims. So they could still romance each other, which is like the same. I think it's always so weird when, like, for example, when Dina and Mortimer get married, then Nina can't flirt with Mortimer because technically he's in her family. Like, who cares? They're not related. I want them to flirt. So I had to download a mod by John to make it so that they could flirt with each other and stuff. The first time they actually flirted, they were both adults by then, and like they fell in love right away, of course, because they were good friends and they were each other's first. Woohoo! And I thought it was really cute. Drew has a secondary family aspiration, but he rarely ever got family once. The romance aspiration was very overpowering. And when he finally got the want to marry someone, and I saw that it was Eli, I was like, oh, yes. Yes. Like, it had to happen. But by that time, Eli was married to this woman named Dana, this townie. And together they had their daughter, Willow. And I thought, well, I'm going to have a birthday party for Willow's birthday. She's going to find out he's cheating, and they're gonna divorce, and then he's gonna marry Drew, and it's gonna be fine. Well, that happened. That was all well and good. Willow, I made sure that Willow didn't have the fear to have relatives break up. And then Dana moved out with Willow, and Drew moved in with Eli to got engaged and stuff. And then Dana, poor Dana, tried to repair her TV, got electrocuted, set fire to the TV while Willow was in school, caught on fire, died. At least by that time, Willow was a teenager, so I was able to move her out and move her in with her father. Drew and Eli got married. They adopted a boy named Grant, who's in university right now. Now they're old men, and they're really cute, and they're probably my favorite couple in this whole Pleasantview. Drew is a boy, and E is a romance sim, but E is not a clone of Brandy. I'm actually playing in a clean neighborhood, if that wasn't obvious by the fact that I had Bella alive and well. I play in a clean hood. Then I think it would only be fair to go to the burbs, rest of the burbs, see what Lucy's up to. Lucy actually got married to Dustin. They had great chemistry. At first I wanted her to get with Beau, but Beau, he didn't really seem to have any interest in Lucy. He introduced her to Dustin, and they found out that they were a much better match. They had extremely interesting looking kids. They have a daughter named Neve. She's extremely beautiful. They have a son named Shay. He's also extremely beautiful. And they have another son named Cyril, who is their only kid who's not a romance sim. He's a family, and he is currently dating a woman named Monique, who is a townie. Yeah, there's not much to say about that family after that. Like, I know this may be an unconventional pairing, but they work together really well. And, you know, the family sim and fortune sim match is pretty classic. Like, even though that was, like, her parents' situation and that didn't work out so well, it worked out pretty well for them. And, yeah, like, they have really cute kids, and I would recommend. I'd recommend in your game. If you want to switch things up, I'd recommend. Then we have the oldies. We have Anna Marie. Anna Marie is the baby that Coral and Burb adopted. She was adopted to be a match for Beau. I had so many, like, I had a couple matches in mind for Beau, and none of them worked out, but he ended up with someone. But yeah, Anna Marie was meant to be Beau's match, but she ended up being like a free spirit, like too free to be tied down to a man. She did have a romance with Beau, but never something that was solid enough to warrant any wants of falling in love or getting engaged or anything like that. So it never happened. So Anna Marie's a single woman. She did have a daughter named Opal Oldie. She is Drew's daughter, actually Drew Burb, née Broke. And yeah, because Anna Marie was not only sleeping with Beau, she was sleeping with Drew. This is extremely dramatic Pleasantview. I mean, I never intended for any parties involved to find out about that little affair. But yeah, Opal was born out of that. She never was in contact with her father until her adult years, but now they're friends and they get along pretty well. And I think that's healthy from that point of view. She has a husband named Abe Oldie. He took her last name. He was also just a townie university dormie that I downloaded from the internet. They have a daughter together, June. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna have them have another kid. Depends. Like, I like to have my families have 2 kids max. When I can get away with having them just have 1 kid, I try to do that. But she has, like I said before, she has her dad's face, like just a townie face. And I would really like her to have some of her mom's genetic, because she's the only genetic child of Drew. So she's really the only sim in town that has Skip's genetics, because Dustin and Beau don't look like Skip at all. But she does. She looks like Drew, and Drew looks like Skip. So, like, I want some of her features to go onto a child so I can spread Skip's genetics. Because I think it's pretty sad when some features, some sims just completely disappear. Then we can go, well, I have the Trikus. I have all the Trikus. Janelle. I have all the Trikus. Jenny Core and John Smith are already dead. Old age. I have Janelle, Vornan, Frickrith, and Mangloud. I named her a weird made up name inspired by Scandinavian names I think I typed on the internet. And at first her name was Slotagrand, and I thought that was a really fun name, and I was calling her Lottie. And I found out that I already had an L baby that round, so she had to be an M baby. And I was like, ugh. And I found a way to make up a name that was weird enough for the Triku name, and that still allowed me to call her Lottie. So she's Magalao now, and I call her Lottie. Then the Pleasants. We have Angela and her husband Dirk. Yeah, she got married to Dirk. That what happened. That's what happened when I put her in university with I put all of them together in university except for those that didn't go, like Lucy didn't go. They all switched. Lilith went to Alexander and Angela went to Dirk. Nobody went to Dustin until he moved back in town and got with Lucy, which was cool. They had 2 kids together. They had Luna first. Luna has the weirdest combination of genes, but she's really cool. She's married to Rick Hawkins, and together they have a son named Leo. The L baby I forgot existed, and she's pregnant with a second, and that's probably gonna be their last. She is a family sim, which is sad because she's gonna probably roll the one to get a child many more times, and I'm gonna ignore it. Like, I like to play wants based, but the baby want I sometimes ignore. Because family sims, they end up with like 5 kids if you let them have whatever they want. So I don't, because I don't want to overpopulate my town. Like, even adding the Trikus was a gamble for me. I was like, oh my god, I have to add 3 more families. I'm freaking out, but I still did it. I did it because I needed new blood in this town. So yes, that was a Pleasant. Nothing really dramatic happening in this family. Nobody's cheating on anybody. Like, everybody's happy. The real troublemaker in that family moved out. They have a son, Angela and Dirk. They have a son named Paul Dreamer. Paul is the laziest fucking man I've ever seen in my life. He's the definition of a couch potato. He never rolls any usable wants. His wants are all very trivial and like, I want to talk about my hobby, and I want to watch a movie, and I want to tickle Bryony, because he's so weird. He's always tickling Bryony, who is Chester's twin sister, the daughter of Dina and Mortimer. He always wants to tickle her. And it's really weird. Here we have Beau. Beau finally found a match in Bryony. They had Maggie pretty young before they were married. Like it says in their bio that they were unmarried and penniless. Quite literally broke. Yes, Beau was a little bit older than Bryony, but they got along pretty well. And they had a child pretty soon. And then they got married and had a second child, who's the coolest looking kid. Like, he's so cool looking. He has Dina's recessive alien genes, so he has green skin, and he has Beau's entire face. He just has Beau's face, copy pasted, and blonde hair. So he reminds me a bit of Johnny Smith with the blonde haired alien. Like, I really like it. And he's the only sim in town with alien skin. But Blake, Lilith and Fallon's son, is a knowledge sim, and my plan for him is to have him not marry or not even like start a relationship with someone unless he rolls wants to. Like, sometimes knowledge sims, they will surprise you. But what I'm thinking of doing with him is having him be abducted a bunch of times and have a couple alien babies. Because I have replacement pollination technicians, and I like to breed with them because they all look so nice. It's really fun. So yeah, she is not married either, Maggie. She is engaged to Paul Dreamer, but neither of them ever rolled once to get married. Like, Paul is not even good at being a family sim. He's never rolled a 1 to get married. Like, he rolled a 1 to get engaged, but nothing further than that. And their first child, Nellie, was an accident. It was an ACR, risky woohoo baby. But then as soon as she became a toddler, he rolled a 1 to have another baby, but never rolled a 1 to get married for some reason. So they're not married, but she's pregnant again, Maggie. So they're gonna have a second child. And yeah, So yeah, that's it for this this broke family. Then we have the second Triku family, which is just Kiernan, Vodwin, and Nilicet. I don't think I'm gonna have Nilicet and Kiernan have a second kid, unlike I did with Janelle and Vornan, because I don't think they get along well enough for that. Like they're in a kind of a fight right now. They're not getting along so well. But I've just added them, so anything could happen still. But they're getting on in the years, so I don't think so. Then we have, I already showed you Neve and Shay, and here is Ryder, the son of Bryony and Beau. I just realized that they are Bryony and Beau broke. I should have named their kids with B names. But I don't really do that. Like, I know a lot of people like doing that. The Dreamers in particular, they'll name all of their babies with D names. I don't really do that because I run out of inspiration pretty fast. Like, after Darcy and Derek, I'm like, Darla? I don't really like doing that, so I don't impose that on myself. There are a lot of things that are quite common in the Sims 2 community that I don't do because I don't think it's necessary to impose so many rules on yourself for me. Like, I know some people, what makes the game fun is having all these rules. For me, if I had too many rules, that would completely break the fun. I like keeping a level of order that makes me happy, and also keep as much free will on my part as I can. If a sim that I really, really, really don't want to get pregnant with a certain other sim gets ACR, like risky woohoo pregnant, I will terminate the pregnancy. Like, I'm not too bothered about it. If anything happens in the game that I really don't like, that I really don't want to happen, I'm gonna make sure it doesn't happen. And same thing, if there's something in the game that I really, really, really want to happen, I'm gonna make it happen. Like, I don't keep my options too closed off because I feel like that would make the game not fun for me. And that game is extremely fun. It's the most fun thing in my life right now. And so if I went around and made too many rules for myself and made it not fun, I would be, God, the bus, really? That would make me extremely miserable, and I don't want to be miserable. I want to be happy. So yeah, I think we're pretty much done here. I think I have a couple Sims in university that I could show you. Yes, I know for sure that I have Blake right now and Grant in university. Maybe there's a third boy. Oh no, it's just the two of them. So we have Blake Goth, who's supposed to be Blake Lothario, but he doesn't know that. He's a knowledge sim, like I said before, so he's going to be a father to a couple alien babies, what I think I'm going to do with him. And Grant, who's already in a relationship with Harley's daughter, Devin. Yeah, he's in a relationship with her, and they're probably going to have a couple kids as well. And it's going to be grand, but right now they're in uni, waiting to graduate, which I'm going to do when I end the round. So right now I am halfway through my spring round. It's going to be summer in all the household pretty soon. I only have 4 households to play through spring plus the university round before everyone's on summer, and I think I'm gonna start recording gameplay when I start my summer round. So we're gonna start gameplay with the Goth family with Alex, Lilith, Tommy, Vivi, and Blake, probably, who's gonna be back from uni. So that could be interesting. What I'm thinking of doing is I don't want Alexander to find out that Lilith has cheated, ever. I don't think he needs to know. Like, I think it would hurt him a lot more to know than not to know. So he's probably not gonna know. But I am hoping that he dies before Lilith so that I can pretend to have Lilith actually tell Blake the truth, so that he can change his name to Lothario, so that his children have the Lothario name, because I wanted to keep going, you know? Because right now the only 2 people who have the Lothario name are Fallon and Jenna. And Jenna did name her daughter Lothario, but, you know, she could take her husband's last name if she gets married to a man, and the Lothario name could disappear from town, which I don't want to happen. I want to keep the names. I've already completely lost the name Caliente in this town, and I'm really sad about it because Nina died childless. She never got pregnant from any woohoo at all. I would have loved it if she did, but she never did. We have the Pleasant name going with Gomez. I'm really happy about that because in a lot of hoods, the Pleasant name dies almost instantly because you only have Angela and Lilith, and most of the time they get married to men, so you lose the Pleasant name pretty fast. But I still have the Pleasant name. Quite happy about that. A lot of brokes. Like in a lot of towns, I think you end up with many brokes. And I have Paul to carry on the Dreamer name, which is also really cool. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So on the next video, I should start playing. I'm also probably gonna be using face cam while I play because like I don't know if I'm gonna be using face cam for every video. But I don't want to allow people to imagine what I look like for too long without actually showing them. Because I don't want to be perceived. I don't want to be perceived that way. I want you to know exactly what I look like as soon as possible, but not right now. So I think on my first gameplay video, I'm probably going to use Facecam. I am waiting on a better mic and a better camera so that I can shoot videos. I hope, by the way, I hope that the audio on that video isn't too bad. I'm using my mic that I bought for Zoom classes, which was quite high quality for me for that purpose, but I don't think it's high quality enough for YouTube videos. So I really hope that this isn't too bad. So I don't know. I've never thought about what my outro would be if I ever did a YouTube video, so I guess I'm gonna have to come up with something on the spot right now. I hope you eat well. I hope you're warm in your bed tonight. And yeah. So good night, sleep tight. Don't let the don't let the Bud Light bite. Okay. Goodbye. Good night. Don't let the Bud Light bite.